Pearls come from oysters. Pearls are made from grit, sand, stone, stuff that gets inside the shell and irritates the oyster. The oyster soothes the itch by coating the grit in a soft, gooey substance. Over the years, it hardens into a beautiful pearl. I've heard it said that Aussies are pearls. We're made from 200 years of grit. The grit of transportation, the grit of 2 world wars, the grit of long, hard days working in hot paddocks, the grit of droughts and floods and fires, and the terrible, terrible years of Shannon Knoll. 200 years of grit and a lot of soft, gooey stuff from our mates. This is the story of Pearl. Pearl the girl. She lives down your street. Where does she come from? Dunno. She looks a bit Aboriginal, a bit Chinese, a bit like Pearl's great-great-grandmother who first came to Australia in 1890. I am only 8 years old and I am with my father and we are looking over the side of the boat at the divers. My God, says my father, how do they stay down so long? They have no diving suit on. My father is a diver too. He has been brought here all the way from China. The sea around Broome is full of pearls. I grip the rail tightly because I know that sometimes they never come up. They are the Aboriginal divers, the last of the dry shellers. Soon, my father will put on the great metal helmet and he will screw it tightly shut and they will lower him over the side. Sometimes they never come up. I tell my father that the wind has blown sand into my eye. Broome, 1890. But Dad does come up, and Broome grows and grows, and the years pass by, and the call goes out for more workers. And soon there are thousands of divers and boats and shops and bars. And Pearl's great-great-grandmother is a grown woman now, and about to get married to an Aboriginal man. His family doesn't approve. What's the matter? Black woman not good enough for you? Her father doesn't approve. Oh, he is a good worker, but what will people say? They throw confetti. Broome, 1900. I love him so, and he loved me, and my father was wrong. Nobody gives a damn. Too busy, you see. When there's plenty of work, everybody happy. Not so down south. Now the years have passed and many people are coming to Australia. And some of them are prepared to work for next to nothing. And Mr. Bossman, he not stupid, he decided to pay them next to nothing. And folks not happy. They say, these people taking our jobs. We want fair day's work for fair day's pay, so no more cheap foreigner. We want European to come to Australia. With European, we know what we're getting. So, that's the way it is. White Australia policy. I had my first son that year. He is Pearl's great-grandfather, and he is a lovely buttery brown colour, the colour of sand. A foreigner? In the place of his birth? I feel something begin to harden in here. But we work on. Grit, you see. Broome is now the biggest pearling centre in the world. And the years passed by and the baby grew and he too began to work on the boats. And Broome had its own gritty story to tell. Typhoons came and over 100 boats were sunk and 3,500 souls never came up. Pearl's lovely buttery great-grandfather was 65 the day that he learned that his own son was going back to Asia, but not to China, to Vietnam. And war is a very long way down. His son is lucky. He comes back up. Just. One day, he will be Pearl's great-grandfather. But for now, he's just a young man who can't stop shaking. He has a chest full of medals, and beneath them is a stone where his heart should be. And it hangs there until he meets me, Pearl's grandmother. Yeah, 1970. First time I saw him, he was down at the docks, chucking more of this stuff around and looking out to sea. Ah, what use do the boats have for a fella with a funny head, he says. Yeah, he was right. But over the weeks, I poured soft, gooey stuff all over that hard heart of his. And yeah, we moved back down to Perth, and we did all right. He used to go, still does go, to the Anzac Day parades. He reckons they're full of people with funny heads. Pink ones, brown ones, black ones, you name it. And he got better. And we had a couple of kids. And we both poured soft, gooey stuff all over him. And now we've got 8 grandkids. And one of them lives down your street. She's called Pearl. Pearl the girl. She's beautiful. And so she should be. She's got over 100 years of grit and sand and stone and robberies and fried rice and witchy grubs and snaggers and Shannon bloody hole and God knows what else inside our Pearl. She's a typical Aussie teenager, spends all day at the beach and comes round to our house for a shower. But she'll be alright. But if she pours any more of this stuff around, I'll kill her! This is Anisha. She's part Indian, part Australian, but mostly she's Anisha. Right, so it's like 10 years ago, right, and I'm in junior school, and I'm the only Indian in the class, and it's show and tell time, and the teacher, Miss Bottomley, she goes, "Right, Anisha, it's your turn." So, I'm just heading out the front of the class, right, and she goes, "Does anyone know how I remember Anisha's name? Because it's a little bit unusual, isn't it?" And no one says anything, right, and she goes, "Well, it sounds a bit like a sneeze, doesn't it? Anisha!" And everyone laughs, because it is funny if you've never heard it before. But I have heard it before, like about a Brazilian times. But anyway, I'm too polite to tell Miss Bottomley how I remember her name, hey? Well, actually, I'm not polite, I just don't want to get into trouble with the headmistress. And her name's Mrs. Dixon. Anyway, so, like, I'm Indian, right? Well, actually, I'm not. I'm Australian, because I was born here. And I talk like this, and all my sentences go up at the end. But I'm also Indian, which means I'm hell polite, hey? So, I don't say to Miss Bottomley, "You can't say that, you racist Wally." I just go like, "Bless you." Anyway, so, Miss Bottomley says to me, "So, Anisha, what have you brought in to show us?" And the thing is, right, I've totally forgotten it's show and tell, because I spent the whole weekend playing cricket, well, actually watching my brother play cricket, which was so interesting, not. And I haven't brought anything in to show. But I have got these red stickers in my desk. So I go like this. "It's called a bindi, miss. Lots of Indian women use it for makeup and stuff." Anyway, like a red one, they use, that means that you're a married woman. And a purple bindi, that means, I can't actually remember what a purple bindi means, so I'll just tell it means you're a Dockers fan. And a yellow bindi means that you've got a boil. It's a Hindu tradition. Not boils, you get them everywhere. Oh, it's just a bit of decoration, really. You should see my mum. It takes about an hour to get all her bling on in the morning. She looks like a rap star. Anyway, Miss Bottomley, she starts making these funny noises, right? You can tell she's really regretting getting me up there. She was going to tell me off for putting a sticker on my face, but now I've gone and mentioned religion. She's gone all touchy-feely in case, she says something inappropriate. So she starts going, oh. She sounds just like my granddad when he's meditating, which he does all the time when my friends are over because he knows it creeps them out. Especially when he does it in those shorts, which he really shouldn't wear when he's sitting on the floor. Oh, that is so gross. He's not meditating at all, he's just trying to get rid of us. Anyway, so eventually she recovers and she goes, "So, Anisha, what's a Hindu?" I so want to say, "A hen lays eggs, miss," but I don't. I just stand there wishing I brought my granddad in for show and tell, in his shorts. Anyway, Granddad was born in India, right, during British rule, and he reckons he was mates with Gandhi. Yeah, right. He was mates with Gandhi like I'm mates with Lady Gaga. we see each other occasionally, but from a distance. Anyway, he reckons that Gandhi used to stage these big sit-down protests, peaceful resistance or something he reckons it was called, and apparently it worked, probably because Grandad was wearing his shorts. He scared all the British away. Anyway, you've got to hand it to him though, don't you? I mean, he did end British rule in India. Not Grandad, Gandhi. And to show their appreciation, someone shot him. Not Grandad, right? Gandhi. But that's another story. Anyway, that was enough for Grandad, and he left the country after that. He heard they were looking for really hard workers in Australia, and because he had British citizenship, he got a ticket on one of the boats.
Oh, landing in Fremantle was like being reincarnated, like starting all over again. A new job, a new life in the lucky country. I hated it.
Right, reincarnation, hey. Hindus believe in reincarnation. This is what Grandad said about it.
Nice idea, yeah? You get to come back to life. Only there's two problems. One, you have to die first, and two, you might come back as a cockroach.
The idea is that you keep on getting reincarnated until you're perfect, which might take a long time with Grandad. Anyway, he's 85 now, and he can't have long left. So I said to him, "Hey Grandad, what do you want to come back as?" And he goes,
Oh, I really don't mind, Anisha, as long as it's not you.
which is so rude, right? But he's old and that. So I said to him, "Grandad, how come you hated Australia when you first got here?" And he goes, "Oh, too cold, too damn cold. After India, I thought I'd die and come back as a slushy." Laugh a minute, his Grandad. The thing is, he didn't really need to spell it out. He's a really proud man, his Grandad, and he'd never ever admit that he was lonely. Can't have been easy for him, being the odd one out. He worked on a sheep station up north when he first got here. Reckons he was the only Indian in a world full of cowboys. He was joking, but you know how it is. I mean, we've all felt that way at some time, haven't we?
Oh, everybody fits in except me.
We all feel that way. Anyway, he can't have been lonely for too long, because pretty soon he met Nan, and they had kids, and then the kids had kids, and ta-da! Here I am. I think the other reason why Grandad can't have been lonely is because he's a good bloke, and people like good blokes. It's called karma. You get back what you put out. You do good stuff for other people, and they like you, so they do good stuff for you. It's not exactly rocket science, is it? Actually, you know this reincarnation thing? It could be true. Have you ever heard of deja vu? You know, where you think, hang on a second, I've done this before. Or maybe you have, but in a different life. Ooh. Actually, you know, this reincarnation thing could be true. Have you ever heard of